Welcome guys, today we're talking about a very interesting question of psychology. Are we shaped more by nature, our genetic makeup, or by nurture, the environment that we grew up in? And this debate tries to answer one fundamental question: who or what really defines who we are as a person? Imagine two twins, identical at birth but raised by completely different families. These are not just hypothetical scenarios. There have been real-life cases where twins were separated at birth and raised in completely different environments. So what happened? Were their personalities shaped more by their genes or by their surroundings? One famous study looked at identical twins raised apart. Now, you might expect that growing up in different homes, maybe one in a busy city and the other one on the countryside, would create two very different people. But the results were surprising. Despite their different environments, these twins still shared many similarities in their behavior, in their interests, and even in their life choices. They both liked the same food, they had similar hobbies, and in some cases they even chose a very similar career. How is that possible? They had no connection while growing up. How is that still possible? Their genetic makeup must have been stronger than their environmental influences. So identical twins tend to become even more alike as they grow older, even if they're raised in very separate environments. This happens because their shared genetics drive them to develop similar preferences, similar personalities, and similar behaviors, no matter where they are. On the other hand, we will look now at fraternal twins. Fraternal twins are not the same like identical twins. Fraternal twins only share half of their genes. 50% of their genetic makeup is identical. And in their case, even if they are raised together in the same household, in the same home, they often become more different from each other over time. Identical twins tend to become more similar to each other, and fraternal twins tend to become more different over time. Because they are drawn to different environments and experiences thanks to their more distinct genetic makeup. These twin studies suggest that while our environment does play a role, our genes have a much stronger influence than we might have thought. The way we think, behave, and even what we like and what we don't like might be more hardwired into us than we realize. But does this mean that our environment doesn't matter at all? Not quite. It's just that manipulating the environment in a meaningful way is very difficult. We can't control everything that happens around us. And even if we put twins in another family, there are still influences that we cannot control. What happens when the child goes to school? What influences are there? There are like a million influences by the environment that we cannot control. It's not like in a laboratory. This makes it very hard to isolate nurture's true effects. And nurture is standing for the environmental influences and nature for our genes. So what's more important, nature or nurture? Why are you like you are? Can you blame your genes or is it the environment that you grew up? The truth is, it's not easy to say. Both factors shape us in a very powerful way, but what we've learned from studies on twins that I've learned in my study course, it seems that our genes may have more influence on our development than we have thought. But don't forget, environment also plays a very, very big role. For example, let's say you have a very high IQ. This is because of your genes, because your parents may had a very, very high IQ or they have a high IQ. But if you grow up in an environment that cannot give you the possibility to develop your cognitive resources. Maybe you have a lot of good cognitive resources, but the environment you grow up, there are no schools, there is no stimulation, there's no material that you can read or that you can get exercises. If you're not nurtured in the environment, so you can also not develop what is inside you. So it's not that easy to say, is it nature or is it nurture? It's an interaction between so many factors. It's an interplay of so many factors, and most of them we cannot control them. This video doesn't have a real conclusion because even in science there is no clear conclusion what to say about this debate. For me it's just a very interesting question to think about. Am I the person that I am because of my environment, or really because of my genes that I inherited from my parents? So yes, thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.